Hi everyone, welcome back to the session. I hope you all are doing good. So basically we in today's video are going to cover the part 2 of PIB compilation of January month. So we are done with the part 1 of January, the compilation or I would say the entire news that was there in January's month. So this is the part 2 basically. And in the next video we'll do a kind of revision session in which entire months your current affairs based question answers would be there that have been there in the news in the PIB section. So we'll come up with such a video, but this is the second part, and in this video I'll complete the entire news that was left behind. Basically we are done with the one part of PIB compilation, and this is the second one. This is the Telegram scanner. Of course you can scan it and join it because we keep on posting the videos, or I would say notifications regarding to videos and any of the notification that is required from your examination perspective. So going forward with the news, the first news we have is that India has achieved a record remittances in 2024. Now here it is important to first know about the meaning of remittances if I talk about in terms of India. So basically when I talk about the remittances in terms of India, so these are what? These are the financial, I wouldn't say help, this is the financial, I would say the money that has been sent to the Indians by their friends, by their family members who are sitting in outside the country. So if you have any of your friend who is sitting outside and he or she sends you money, so that is called remittances. And we all know, if I take into consideration the case of Punjab, so I think half of the population is already in abroad. The young population is sitting in abroad earning money and sending money to their parents, to their families for any of the purposes. They may be sending the money to their home just because in case of help, to provide them financial assistance, just in case of money, just to give it as a gift. So the case may be any, the condition may be any, but this is the financial, or I would say the money that has been sent to the Indians by their relatives, by their friends who are sitting abroad. So if I talk about this particular news, you can see here that it has achieved a record global remittances in 2024. Okay, this is the entire news here. Now you can see 5 top recipients are here. India has topped here. India is standing here at the front, followed by Mexico, your China, the Philippines and Pakistan. Okay, now there is a decline in the China's, if I talk in terms of remittances, you will see that there is a decline in the China's share have fell to 5.3%. This is what they have given us. Now what are the factors that are driving to this particular situation, I would say, in India? So as because of the larger diaspora, the people are continuously, or in order to reach out to the different opportunities, people are reaching out to foreign countries as well, and they are working there as well. So similarly, when they have started working there, they are sending money to their kids, to their spouse, to their parents, to their relatives, to their friends, in order because in order of maybe help, in order of providing them financial assistance, or maybe in case of gift as well. Changing of the migration destinations, people have changed the migration destinations. Of course, people are looking up to the different opportunities, and people are looking after them. Diverse workforce, just because of the diverse workforce, we are the India is facing the situation. I would say it is helpful if I talk about the household, and if I talk about the economy as well. It is a good situation for economy because we have to less rely on the investment purposes, or I would say we have to less rely on the other factors as well. If people are sending money, that too has a different I would say perspective, but just taking it in a positive way. If people are sending money to their family members, of course they are getting benefit out of it. If I talk about a micro perspective, it is beneficial for the households. If I talk about the macro perspective, that is, if I talk about India's economy, that is helpful at their position as well. Of course, these have two different perspectives also. If in case people are demanding a high amount of money from the foreign countries, of course that has negative negative impact too, but here we are talking about a positive impacts only. Next, you have a core dialogue, which has celebrated 20 years of cooperation. Now, if I talk about Quad, then this is a quadrilateral security dialogue, we all know. Now, we'll see in the coming, slides at what all it is. Now, to mark the 2 decades, that is your 20 years of collaboration, the foreign ministers of Quad members, now it is important to remember कि जो Quad है, ये जो कोड है इसके अंदर आपके कितने कितने मेंबर्स रहते हैं. सो दिस इज स्पेसिफिकली सेड हियर दैट इट इज अ स्ट्रैटेजिक डायलॉग फ्रेमवर्क इन विच 4 countries are involved. First is your Australia, another one is your India, you have Japan here, and you have your United States as well. So this is a dialogue, or I would say this is a relation between these 4 countries, and in which cooperation, the basic I would say the basic the values that are exchanged here is regard to the cooperation only. So you will see here that how many achievements have been done here, how has been the journey of 20 years here. So it has reaffirmed reaffirmed the support of a free and open Indo-Pacific, Asian centrality, and your Pacific-led regional architecture, and the Indian Ocean Rim Association as well. So it has been reaffirmed support that was given regarding these of the initiatives. Similarly, if I talk about the region, the participation, or I would say the partnership, was formed in December 2004 to coordinate the disaster relief efforts following the Indian Ocean tsunami. So this is the sole purpose if I talk about the Quad here. Similarly, if I talk about the first informal meeting, so it was held in 2007 in Philippines. Revival की बात करूँ, so the Quad was officially revived in 2017 with the formal discussions that had taken place in Philippines. So this is the basic understanding of the Quad. Now it has key pillars. It has key pillars. Now, one is that we talked about to redress the issues that are there in the to redress the disaster issues that are there in the Indian Ocean. This is the one of the key pillars of this particular initiative. I would say the particular dialogue, or an agreement, or I would say the bilateral, or I would say not a bilateral, but a cooperation among the 4 countries here. Okay, so first is addressing the contemporary global issues that is there, securing the strategic sea routes in the Indo-Pacific. Specifically, they are targeting the Indo-Pacific. Similarly, rules based on the global orders, establishing the liberal trading system, that there should be no any obstacle in between. The trading system should be liberal in a manner, everything should be sorted out clearly. Next, you have alternative debt refinancing, and addressing the complementary global issues as well. Similarly, what is its significance for India and for the rest of the countries as well? If I talk about the partnership that is between the like-minded countries, give you, or I would say it will increase your diaspora, it will increase the way you think, it will increase the way you are taking the things, it will increase your steps, it will increase your I would say the agreements, or I would say the exchange of dialogues among various countries. Similarly, if I talk about the India stature, it will also be strengthened, economic opportunities will be there, and strategic counter to China. This is highly helping here. Next, you have a tobacco board news that is regarding to it. So on its formation day, the tobacco board announced that earnings of flu-cured Virginia, that is yours FCV, tobacco farmers had more than doubled between 2019 to 2020 and 2024 to 2020 2023 से लेके 2024. Now this is one of the types of tobacco which has high quality of aroma, and it is used in the tobacco products. Similarly, if you see here, then it has India has been at the 2nd largest position of tobacco globally after China. Now it holds the 4th position in this FCV production, that is specifically this. Now this is a special type of tobacco which is high in quality and high quality in aroma as well. Okay, now if I talk about the tobacco board, it was established in in the year of 1976 on 1st of January. Objective क्या है? The board promotes the growth of the tobacco industry and regulates the production, the distribution, and the export of your FCB products. Similarly, ministry functions under the Ministry of your Department of Commerce and Industries and your Ministry of Commerce and Industry. Here we have solely about the Department of Commerce, and also along with the Department of, or I would say the Ministry of Commerce and Industry. Okay. Next we have is about the non-performing assets. So a news is here that there is a decrease in the non-performing assets. If I talk about the gross non-performing assets, so basically when there are no provisions made in the NPAs as in when a person is unable to pay, or I would say to return the money to the banks, that person, or I would say that amount is considered as that defaulter is considered as NPA, as under NPA, because that particular person or your particular amount is still not, you still have not paid to the bank. So that shows you a defaulter case. That particular person has not paid the money within the 90 days of period. So this shows you the condition of NPAs. Similarly, if I talk about India's case, if there are rising NPAs, that is problematic situation for India, because that will show that there are more of the defaulters. I would say the defaulters, the rate of the defaulters is increasing over the period of time. That is a grave situation for India, or I would say that is a grave situation for our banking sector as well. Similarly, the news here is that the gross or I would say NPAs are decreasing over the period of time. That is a good news for India, I would say a good news for the banking sector as well. So you can see here, according to the banking or RBI financial stability report, this is very, very important for all of the aspirants who are preparing for RBI examination, because this from this particular report a question always come, or I would say in every year a question comes from this particular report, or I would say the rest of the 5 reports. So this particular says that Indian banks has dropped the GNPA has seen a drop down of 2.6%, marking a lower, or I would say lowest level in the 12 years. That is a good thing for our India. Similarly, you have a news on the India Summit's 4th biennial update report to UNFCCC. Okay, so we'll see here what does this say. So biennial update report, that is BUR4, provides updates to the 3rd national communication, which is your TNC, and includes the India's national greenhouse gas inventory for the year 2020. Now, if I talk about the greenhouse gas emissions, so you can see here it has been declined by 7.93%. If I specifically talk about 2020 and I compare it with the 2019, you will see that there is a decline of 7.93%. Now, energy-wise, जो emissions होती हैं, you can see here, if I talk about a sector which is energy sector, you can see the emission here as 70.566%. Energy, agriculture here, it contributes 13 point something percent, and industrial processes and product usage contributes 8.06%, and wastage contributes 2.56%. This is important to know. Similarly, if I talk about the emission intensity of GDP, then you can see here it has been reduced by 36%. If you're not able to see I would say the class here, I would say the slide here. The PDF has been already provided to all of you. You can see here, you can see and have an access there. It has been shared in your portal only, so you can have an access from there also. Similarly, when I talk about the non-fossil energy, that share of particularly non-fossil energy, so we can see here that the numbers show as 46.52% of the installed electricity generation capacity, and we are here talking about the October month, that is of 2024. Similarly, if I talk about the carbon sink generation, so you can see here there as the forest and the tree coverage contribution has been additional here, that is of 2.29 billion tons. Okay. Similarly, if I talk about the forest and tree coverage here, specifically about forest and tree coverage, so you can see it stands at 25.17% of the country's total geographical area, and it shows the consistent growth. So it means that the forest cover is increasing over the period of time. Similarly, the things are also increasing. Similarly, if I talk about the rest of the things that are associated with it, so we have International Solar Alliance that talks about protecting, or I would say utilizing, the solar energy. Similarly, you have Coalition for Disaster Resilient Infrastructure, Lifestyle for Environment Movement, Global Biofuel Reliance. You have national schemes such as PM Surya Ghar Muft Bijli Yojana. So under it, if you are if you have installed solar panels in your houses, you will be given subsidies by the government. Similarly, it includes, if you your 300 per, I would say it is near to 300 units. If you're using it, a subsidy will be provided on it. National Bioenergy Program is there. National E-Bus Program is also there. That is, increasing if I particularly talk about the contribution of the buses in the pollution, that is regarding, or I would say that is near to 1%. So to decrease the population, to decrease the pollution over the rising of the urban population, it is very important that we look after another alternative, that is your e-buses. So as the government is deciding to install nearly 10,000 of buses, that is e-buses, so that we can reduce the level of pollution, and we can with the increasing pace of the urban population, the pollution is also increasing over the period of time, but the government is focusing on reducing it by the use of e-buses. Okay. Similarly, we have another project here, that is called Project Vistar, virtually integrated system to access your agricultural resources. Now this news is particularly focusing on the agricultural news. Now it functions as an AI augmented network of networks, enabling each state to develop its own agricultural advisory system. Now if advisory system is developed by each state, of course it is going to help farmers only. They'll have an access of free advisory, they will have an access of proper mentorship, that what is required for my crop, how should things go. So this is the entire case here. Similarly, if I talk about this particular platform, so it connects the decentralized databases to provide a seamless access to the critical agricultural resources, that is also there. Now the objective is to enhance the agricultural decision making and to improve the resource utilization. Of course, if the resources are utilized properly, then it will lead to increase in the crop productivity. That is the case here. Now if I talk about particularly its significance, it will enhance the farmers' access to advisory, it will increase the productivity, and it will assist the farmers to in learning about the relevant government schemes as well. Now if I talk about the next news we have is amendment in the foreign trade policy have been made in 2023. Now if I talk about this particular FTP, that was also prior to making amendment, it was already was contributing much. Now it will focus on strengthening the policy framework, stakeholder consultation, including your importers, exporters, and the industry experts as well. If I talk about the objective, so it is to promote or process the re-engineering and automation to simplify the export processes. Target kya hai? You have to achieve $2 trillion in exports by 2030. So this is basically to increase the export sector, or to make our I would say trade market more grow in a manner. Notable initiatives are achieving 2 trillion by 2030, expanding your export promotion of capital goods scheme, digital economy trade recognition of exporters, and your SCO met policy streamlining. Okay. Now next news we have is Chhattisgarh links forest ecosystem with the green GDP. Now what is green GDP here? I've told you already that GDP refers to the growth. It tells you the number, it tells you that how much your growth is there in an economy. So it basically considers the production level, it basically considers that whatever how much level of production is there. But when it comes to green GDP, it means you are taking into consideration the growth, you're taking into consideration the numbers, but you are taking care of the planet as well, you are taking care of the sustainable development as well. So when you start considering your numbers but with the judicious use of resources, that is known as your green GDP. Okay. So what does this news say? Chhattisgarh has become the first state in India to integrate in the forest ecosystem services with a green GDP. Okay. Now significance of this particular initiative, so forest cover jo hai, that is 44%. Products like tendu leaves, your honey, lac, your medicinal plants significantly boost the rural economy. Next, if I talk about the green GDP, I have already told you that it was emerged in 1980s to make our environment more better in a way. Now if I talk about how to calculate it, the green GDP, you have to first consider your net domestic product, then you have to consider the cost of the natural resources depletion, how much you have depleted, and the cost of ecosystem degradation. You have to consider both of the aspects, and then you have to deduct it from the net domestic product. Okay. Now global initiatives along with that you can see here is CSEA and your waves as well. Okay. Next news we have is WTO marks its 30th anniversary. WTO jo hai, it has marked its 30th anniversary. Now we'll see what is basically the WTO. Now everyone knows that it is a global organization, okay, that has governing the trade rules between the nations. Now it ensure ki jo process of global trade, it becomes smooth, it becomes predictable, and it becomes very smooth in a manner. If similarly, if I talk about the membership, you can see here that 166 countries are involved here. Headquarters कहाँ पे है? Geneva, Switzerland में इसके headquarters हैं. This is all you need to learn, or I would say understand. Now it has similarly key agreements that you can search by yourself, and you can see we have TRIMS, we have TRIPS, and we have agreement on agriculture, and we have other agreements as well. Here it is not important to very go in depth about the agreements. Here it is important to know that it has celebrated its 30th anniversary, and if you want to know, you can have an access of the PDF, you can check it from there as well. Now BankNet e-auction platform has been initiated by the RBI, or I would say the Ministry of Finance. So what is the motive here कि जो भी हमारी abundant properties होती हैं, फिर I would say auction properties होती हैं, the government is trying its best to provide access to the people of India, to provide its access to the people of India, that too at an easy pace. So the government says that it will provide buyers and investors a single destination to explore various of the properties. That includes your residential properties, that includes your commercial properties, premises, and your industrial assets as well. Now if I talk about the platform, so it will aim to unlock the value of distressed assets while boosting the investor confidence in the real asset market as well. प्रॉपर्टी की बात करो, सो प्रॉपर्टी जो है कैटेगराइजेज लिस्टिंग इंक्लूड योर फ्लैट्स, इंडिपेंडेंट हाउसेज, योर प्लॉट्स, इंडस्ट्रियल प्रॉपर्टीज एंड योर commercial spaces as well. So these are the properties that are included. So if in case you want to buy anything, if you want to buy any of the property, you can have access of the single platform. Now the news we have is that Indian coffee exports reach $1.68 billion in 2024. Now one of the reasons of its rises that is there just because of the robust coffee increase, or price increase of coffee. Now just because of the geopolitical tensions, rising of the prices, this is one of the cases here. Similarly, if you see EU deforestation regulations is there, India has been the 7th one. Okay, India is the 7th largest coffee production. And similarly, if I talk about the early January 2025, the India exported over 9,300 tons of coffee, with the primary buyers being Italy, your Belgium, your Russia. Similarly, if I talk about the states who have highly contributed here, so one you have Karnataka who has highly contributed, along with the Kerala and your Tamil Nadu as well. So south ki jo states they are contributing much. Similarly, if I talk about the government initiatives that are in this regard, so you have integrated coffee development, that is your ICDP project. Similarly, you have Araku Valley, that is Araku Valley, that has saw an increase of 20% here in the production between the collaboration, after the collaboration between the Coffee Board and the Integrated Tribal Development Authority agency, that will support the Girijan cooperative cooperation as well. So these are the initiatives that have been taken by the government of India. Next news you have is World Food and Agriculture 2024 statistical yearbook is there. So the news is that FAO has released its statistical yearbook 2024, highlighting the trends and key statistics in global agriculture. Now what are the key highlights here? They have talked about the economic dimension, they have talked about the production and trade here, which includes your food security and your sustainability as well. Now this is very easy to understand. You can have an access of your PDF. You can, if you just give you read to these of the highlights here, you will be it will be very easy to understand the concept. There's no concept here, this is just an information that they have given. That is the reason I've taken pointers only. Open Network for Digital Commerce, that is your ONDC. Now why is it in news? Because this is an innovative public network that was established to democratize the e-commerce in India by enabling seamless interoperability between the various platforms for merchants and your consumers. Now this is just to increase the access, or I would say the connectivity between the merchants and your your customers. That is the reason this public platform, this innovative public platform is there. Now if I talk about the nodal agency, you can see the Department of Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade, that is your DPIIT, is the nodal agency under the Ministry of Commerce. Launch year कौन सा था? It was formed in 2022 under the Companies Act 2013. Founding members कौन से? Quality Council of India and the Protein E-Government Technologies Limited. Objective क्या है? To create an open and inclusive e-commerce environment for sellers and MSMEs across the India. This is your entire objective of this particular initiative. If I talk about the decentralized agriculture architecture, it has a decentralized agriculture. It includes each and every step. It is not for the individuals who are there at the top level only. It includes your MSMEs, it includes your customers as well. Open protocols are there, defined rules have been given. It will support the MSMEs by offering the inclusive ecosystem. Key investors are your SBI, your ICICI Bank, NSE, and among others. Next news you have is Bharat portal by CBI. So this has been developed by CBI. This has been launched by the CBI to make, or I would say to integrate things in a more in a more deeper sense, to go into this tehtiyat in a more deeper way. So similarly, purpose kya hai? To enhance the India's law enforcement framework by enabling the robust connection. Just I told you, to increase the connection between the two of the parties, two of the nations here. If I talk about the nation as well as international, of course, if we integrated it with the international agencies, we'll have an ease over looking after the cases that have been there. So it will give us more access, it will give us more of the investing system, particularly through the Interpol. Okay. Now what are the key modules here? That is to connect. Interpol notices are there, references are there, broadcast is there, and resources, we have different resources as well. How it will benefit India? So collaborating our Indian agencies with the foreign agencies, of course it will increase the diaspora of our mind, it will give us more opportunities. Aids in tackling the cyber crime, financial support, and rest of the crimes as well. It will provide access to Interpol databases to assist and crime prevention and investigation as well. It will streamline the extradition procedures and the for criminals from abroad. So these are the cases here. Now we have about the Interpol. So it was established in 1923. It is headquartered in France. Now it comprises of 196 member countries. Now it is serving as the world's largest police organization. And when I talk about the police organization, that too at a largest level, so integrating it with will provide help to India only. Now we are talking about the Bhashini project. Bhashini as in we are now here talking about the language. So it is basically the Bhashini project is basically an AI integrated tool, or I would say AI based language or based project, which has given access to number of people to have easy e-governance, or I would say to to take the facilities, or to understand the government, the initiatives of the government in their own languages. So basically this is to promote the regional languages of various the states we have. So it will include it will include the number of languages we have. It will include 20, the languages that are there, 22 in the scheduled Indian languages, enhancing the inclusivity. As in, few of the people don't know Kannada, few of the people don't know English, many of the people don't know Hindi. They are, I would say they are more friendly with their own language only. So dealing with the government initiatives, or I would say understanding the government plans is, I would say an obstacle in it was the language only. So just to remove the barrier of the language, the government has taken this step so that inclusive, I would say the digital inclusivity should be increased. Everyone should have an access of the e-governance of the facilities that have been provided by the government, but they do have right to understand it in their own language. And if they get to understand in their own language the initiatives that have been taken by the government of India, the people will also start you will see an increase in the involvement in the government plans by the people of India. So if I talk about its objective, the part of the Indian language translation mission, that is your NLTM, the project aims to overcome the language barrier by offering them multiple, or I would say multilingual content. Okay, this is the case here. Next we have is Kisan Pehchan Patra Farmer ID. Now this is a part of your Kisan PM Kisan scheme, जिसमें क्या बोला गया है कि farmer को क्या करना है, they will be provided with the IDs, which is known as your farmer पहचान पत्र, जिसमें क्या रहेगा, it will be unique and Aadhaar linked digital identification dynamically linked with the state land records to make, to go with the more accessibility, to more, to penetrate in the things more. And if I see the collected data that forms the farmers registry, this framework include 3 key registries that aims to enhance the productivity and sustainability in the agricultural sector. This is the case here. National Broadband Mission 2.0. Now, the government of India has launched National Broadband Mission 2.0. सबसे पहले क्या था? The National Broadband Mission था 1.0. Now, if I talk about National Broadband Mission 2.0, this is to increase the digital inclusivity in each and every sector. Even if I talk about the urban sector, even if I talk about the rural sector, the focus of the government is कि हम जो है चीज़ें, या फिर I would say the digitalization, how we can penetrate in the rural economy as well. ठीक है, particularly in the rural and as well as underserved areas. Underserved areas, now we have 2 types of areas here. One is unserved, another one is underserved. Unserved areas are those areas in which no accessibility is there, no financial, or I would say no welfare scheme has been provided by the government of India. That area is still untouched. Even if I talk about the underserved areas, and these are those areas wherein few facilities are there but not complete facilities, so those are the underserved areas. Now if I talk about the launch date, it was launched in 2019. ठीक है, सुपरविजन कौन करता है? मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ कम्युनिकेशन. This is about the your national broadband mission of one, that was 1.0. It started from 2019 and it ended in 2004. ऑब्जेक्टिव क्या है कि हमारे डिजिटल इंक्लूसिविटी को इंक्रीज करना. ठीक है, हर एक के पास जो डिजिटल जो कनेक्शन है वो होना चाहिए. नाउ इफ आई टॉक अबाउट NBM 2.0, then it started in 2025. Affordability goals क्या है कि सोशो इकोनॉमिक डिवाइड्स by providing them affordable broadband services. क्वालिटी ऑफ सर्विसेज भी जो है वो हाई स्पीड इंटरनेट होना चाहिए. ठीक है, डिजिटल फाइबर मैप होना चाहिए. कोलैबोरेशन, इट इनकरेजेस द पार्टनरशिप बिटवीन द गवर्नमेंट, प्राइवेट सेक्टर एंड योर सिविल सोसाइटी एज वेल. ठीक है, इसके ये ऑब्जेक्टिव्स हैं. यू कैन रीड इट. दीज आर जस्ट द नंबर्स. आई हैव टोल्ड यू दैट इट इज टू इंक्रीज इट्स इंक्लूसिविटी इन द रूरल एरियाज. फीचर्स क्या क्या है? हमारे डिजिटल एक्सेस या फिर आई वुड से डिजिटल इंक्लूसिविटी है, एनवायरमेंट सस्टेनेबिलिटी है, इमरजेंसी कनेक्टिविटी है, ब्रॉडबैंड एक्सेस है. ठीक है, नाउ यू हैव all right, so we have ended it. Yes, we are done with entire schemes. We are done with entire schemes that are there in January's compilation, that were there in the January's compilation. So that is it. We have covered few in the part 1 and rest we have covered in part 2. Now I would say that this was just an explanation of the concepts. Whatever the tough concepts were there, I've explained you very thoroughly. Now your obligation is to read the paragraph, or I would say read the PDF that has been provided to all of you. ठीक है, अब जो प्रोवाइड आपको करा गया है, you can have an access of it. वहाँ पे डेटा वगैरह जो है प्रॉपरली इट हैज़ बीन रिटन देयर. PDF भी रीड करिए. ठीक है, उससे आपको क्या मिलेगा? और ज़्यादा क्लैरिटी मिलेगी. रेस्ट इफ आई टॉक अबाउट द एक्सप्लेनेशन, इफ़ एनीथिंग इज मिस्ड, इफ़ यू फील लाइक कि मैम इसका एक्सप्लेनेशन नहीं दिया है, तो यू कैन गो इन द कमेंट सेक्शन. ऑफ कोर्स यू कैन हैव एन एक्सेस ऑफ इट. दैट इज for your purpose only. You can go in the comment section and write a particular word that is still untouched, or I would say that is not cleared by you. So you can write there, and I will ensure that I'll clear it either in the comment section or in the any of the classes. So I'll ensure that I'll fix your doubts, so you can ask me in the comment section. Rest, I think all of the aspects are completed. We are done with the PIB compilation of the January month. Now in the coming videos we'll first do the revision, that is of your complete PIB, and which will include your schemes as well. Next we'll come up with we'll see the compilation of the February month. So I hope the things are clear to all of you here, and just your obligation is to to keep revising. So thank you so much. I'll meet you in the next such video. Thank you so much.